Hi there, this is Ruben from Dutch Round 1. Thanks again for coming by, thanks for watching another episode. As always, I appreciate your time and I appreciate your support. Today we've got another grammar lesson. Basically we're going to take a look at the difference between kennen and weten. But before we do that, remember to give it a like, subscribe to the channel if you want more content, and let me know in the comments if this was useful for you or not. But without much further ado, let's go straight for our grammar lesson. Alright, so basically I made this video because I've noticed that many of my students, they tend to be a little bit confused when we talk about kennen and when we talk about weten. So in this video I'm going and try to explain to you when we use kennen in Dutch and when we use weten. Alright? And we also take a look at some examples and then I'll explain them so in order to make it clearer for you. So when do we use kennen? Well, kennen we use when you're familiar with something. You have previous knowledge or you have seen someone before. For example, ik ken het antwoord al. I already know the answer. So basically you had previous knowledge, so you already know the answer. Ik ken hem van school. I know him from school. Okay, so you've already seen, you recognize that person, you recognize him from your past. So basically, then we will use kennen. Ik ken mijn vrienden al heel lang. I know my friends for a very long time. So again, your friends, it's written in the sentence al heel lang, for a very long time. So you had some previous knowledge about your friends. You knew them already, so that's why we use kennen. Right, we continue, and when do we use kennen, or when do we also use kennen? Kennen always needs a direct object. Alright, so we'll take a look at the examples and I'll try and simplify it for you. Ik ken het antwoord al. Alright, I already know the answer. Now if you look at this sentence, het antwoord is the direct object. How do you find the direct object? Well, you basically ask a question with the same vocabulary of the sentence and you say, what do I already know? You ask what? Well, you'll find your direct object. Het antwoord. It can also be who. I know him from school. I know who. Him. Alright, so him is our direct object. Ik ken mijn vrienden al heel lang. I know my friends for a very long time. Who do I know for a very long time? My friends, that is your direct object. So kennen will always have a direct object, right? And then maybe a little hint for kennen. If the direct object is a person, you will always use kennen, alright? Don't even think about weten. If the direct object is a person, then you will always use kennen. For instance, ik ken zijn broer. I know his brother. Wij kennen onze leraars. We know our teachers. Okay, zijn broer, onze leraars. All of these are words which refer to persons, right? Wij kennen dit meisje al heel lang. We know this girl for some time or for a long time. So basically, who do we know? This girl. Girl is a word which refers to a person, so we'll use kennen. Alright, so this is basically when we use kennen. Now we'll take a look and see when we use weten. Now, when do we use weten? Weten is used when you speak about factual knowledge, alright? Cognitive processes, alright? When you know the facts, when you know the science, alright? So for instance, the difference would be with that one, ik weet het antwoord al. It wouldn't be, I have previous knowledge of what the answer would be, then you would use kennen. But now, ik weet het antwoord al is that you actually figured out, due to cognitive processes, what the answer is. I already know the answer. Of ik weet dat je gelijk hebt. I know that you are right. Okay, this is ik weet. This is our main clause, and then you also have your subordinate clause. Dat je gelijk hebt. Alright? Remember that one? We'll come back to this one in the next slide. Ik weet veel, maar niet alles. I know a lot, but not everything. I know a lot of factual knowledge, but not everything. Alright? So this is when we will use weten. We continue, and weten, unlike kennen, can be used with a subordinate clause. Main clause, subordinate clause. If you're not really sure what main clauses are, what subordinate clauses are, then click on the following link. Check my video I made about compound sentences in Dutch. We'll take a look at the examples and I'll make your life a little bit easier. Ik weet niet wie je buurman is. I don't know who your neighbor is, right? So basically, I don't know is our main clause, then wie is basically the word introducing our subordinate clause, and then wie je buurman is, that would be your subordinate clause. Ik weet dat je gelijk hebt. I know that you are right. Ik weet, main clause, dat je gelijk hebt, that would be your subordinate clause. Again, with Kennen, this is impossible, right? Ik weet dat we morgen op vakantie gaan. I know that we are going on holiday tomorrow. Again, I know, main clause, dat we morgen op vakantie gaan. Dat, we would call that a relative pronoun, introducing our subordinate clause. And the subordinate clause is dat we morgen op vakantie gaan. Right? So basically, weten, factual knowledge, cognitive processes, and also used with a subordinate clause, unlike Kennen. We continue, and sometimes we can use both. Both is basically if the difference of meaning is negligent, if it doesn't really matter, alright? Ik ken zijn naam of ik weet zijn naam, alright? Whether it's from previous knowledge or whether it's from factual knowledge, it doesn't really matter because it means I know his name, right? Ik ken de weg of ik weet de weg, same thing, whether you know the road because you've taken that road many times or just because you know it factually, doesn't change, so then you can mix and match them. Alright, so this was the lesson for today, the difference between kennen and weten. I hope it was useful for you. I want to thank you again for watching, and also remember to give it a like if you like this content. Let me know in the comments if this was useful for you or not, and also subscribe to the channel if you want more content. I want to wish you a great rest of the day, and of course stay tuned for another episode of Dutch Round 1. Ciao!